Salt is not the enemy. How we use it matters more. After 50 for many years, salt has been described as something to fear. We are told that salt raises blood pressure. That salt harms the heart. That salt should be avoided as much as possible. These statements are not entirely wrong, but they are incomplete. When advice is incomplete, people often respond with extremes. Many older adults begin eating as little salt as possible. Some stop seasoning their food altogether. Some lose enjoyment in eating, believing that bland food is the price of staying healthy. But the aging body does not function well at extremes. It does not thrive on as little as possible, it thrives on balance. Salt is not just a flavoring. In the body, salt provides sodium, an essential mineral. Sodium plays a central role in transmitting nerve signals, enabling muscle contraction, maintaining blood volume, stabilizing blood pressure throughout the day. When we are younger, the body regulates sodium efficiently. If salt intake is higher one day, the kidneys excrete more. If intake is lower for a short time, the body compensates. After the age of 50, this flexibility decreases. Kidney function changes gradually. Thirst perception becomes less reliable. The nervous system becomes more sensitive to shifts in electrolytes. When sodium intake is too low for a long period of time, the body may respond quietly at first. Fatigue becomes more common. Lightheadedness may appear when standing up. A general sense of weakness can develop without a clear cause. Many people assume these changes are simply part of aging. Often, they reflect mild but persistent electrolyte imbalance. To truly understand salt, we must look at how it interacts with the heart and the nervous system. The heart does not operate independently. It is continuously regulated by signals from the nervous system. These signals depend heavily on sodium. Sodium supports the electrical activity that keeps the heart beating in a steady rhythm. It helps regulate how strongly the heart contracts. It contributes to stable blood pressure throughout daily activities. After 50, the autonomic nervous system becomes more reactive. This means stress responses are triggered more easily, heart rate fluctuates more, blood pressure becomes less stable. When sodium intake is too high, the body retains more fluid. Blood volume increases. The heart must pump against greater pressure. But when sodium intake is too low, another problem appears. Nerve signaling becomes less stable. The body activates compensatory stress responses. Stress hormones such as adrenaline and noradrenaline increase. Blood vessels constrict. Heart rate rises. The result can feel very similar to the effects of excess salt: restlessness, fatigue, and cardiovascular strain. This creates a paradox. Long-term extreme salt restriction can stress the cardiovascular system almost as much as excessive salt intake. The aging body does not tolerate large swings. It seeks steadiness. Many older adults ask the same question. I eat very little salt. Why is my blood pressure still high? To answer this, we must understand that blood pressure is influenced by many factors, not salt alone. Blood pressure reflects the elasticity of blood vessels, heart rate, blood volume, nervous system activity, sleep quality, blood sugar stability. With age, blood vessels gradually stiffen. This naturally raises baseline blood pressure. If, at the same time, salt intake is extremely low, meals are irregular, sleep is poor, stress is chronic, the body activates internal compensation systems. One of the most important is the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, often called ROS. This system helps the body retain sodium, retain water, raise blood pressure when needed. When salt intake remains very low for a long time, ROS activity may increase. The body becomes more protective of sodium. Blood vessels constrict more easily. Blood pressure may remain high or fluctuate widely. This explains why some people eat very bland food yet still struggle with high blood pressure. The solution is not further restriction. The solution is restoring physiological balance. Another important part of the conversation about salt involves where it actually comes from. Many people think salt intake depends mainly on what they add at the table. In reality, for most adults in the United States, the majority of sodium comes from foods that are already prepared. Common sources include packaged bread and baked goods, canned soups and broths, processed meats, ready-made sauces and dressings, frozen or convenience meals. These foods often do not taste particularly salty. Sodium is added for preservation, texture, and flavor stability. This creates a quiet problem. People may cook lightly at home, yet still consume high levels of sodium every day without realizing it. The issue is rarely a single meal. It is long-term accumulation. Over years, this steady intake places ongoing pressure on blood vessels, kidneys, and the heart. After 50, the body no longer responds well to rigid rules. Very high salt intake creates strain. But extreme restriction also creates internal stress. The goal is not elimination. It is appropriate use. A sustainable approach includes limiting heavily processed foods when possible, spreading salt intake evenly across meals, pairing meals with potassium-rich foods such as vegetables and fruits, maintaining adequate hydration, eating meals at consistent times. Most importantly, it involves listening to the body. The body communicates through subtle signals. Energy levels throughout the day, dizziness or lightheadedness, sleep quality, heart rhythm, overall comfort after meals. These signals often provide better guidance than strict numerical rules. Salt is not the enemy. But it is not harmless when misunderstood. The aging body does not ask for perfection. It asks for balance. When salt is used thoughtfully, the body works with less strain. The heart beats more steadily. The nervous system feels safer. Energy becomes more consistent. Aging well is not about cutting more and more things out. It is about learning how to support the body as it changes. And sometimes that support begins with understanding something as simple, and as misunderstood, as salt. If you found these ideas familiar, you are not alone. In the next video, we will explore how evening meals influence heart health after 50, and why dinner timing and composition matter more than many people realize. Not through strict rules. Not through fear. But through balance.